Number 1, I think you have to go with Justin Jefferson. Number 2, I've got CeeDee Lamb. At number 3, this is where I got interesting.
Look at the release.
There's your separation.
Great route.
Stutter and go. Gets by clean.
That is unbelievable.
May be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
Ask Reception Perception. This is where we go to the Discord chat. We ask all our faithful followers there to kind of hit us up with some questions. The first one coming from user Sue Joyban, who, by the way, is very active in the Discord chat, and we definitely appreciate his support. He's got 2 questions. One, how would you rank the top 10 wide receivers from the 2020 and 2021 rookie classes for Dynasty right now?
Number 1, I think you have to go with Justin Jefferson. As we've mentioned before, absolute stud. Last year was number 2 in success rate versus press coverage. For reception perception, was a 91st percentile against man coverage player. There's no questions about him. He's an elite player. We know that. Number 2, I've got CeeDee Lamb, who I think could get rocking and rolling with like a top 12 wide receiver 1 season this year. At number 3, this is where I got interesting. I have Brandon Eyuk. I don't know if that's aggressive to have him over Jamar Chase, who's the 5th overall pick in last year's draft, but I just love Brandon Eyuk, and there are plenty of volume questions coming into this year, right? You realistically can't be high on Kittle, Debo, and Eyuk this year. It's really, you got to kind of pick one. That's not going to be a problem the more that Trey Lance develops, the more that he gets out of his rookie season, the way this offense will come together. I'm just sky high on Eyuk. I think he's going to have a big year this year, but I think he's going to have a big year going forward. At number 4, I have Jamar Chase. We know that he's the best downfield receiver in this last year's draft. He's going to fill an immediate role for the Bengals there. Also, this might be a different question if we were talking like NFL skill or like talent or whatever, but this is a dynasty fantasy football question. Number 5, I have Jerry Judy. This was where the top 4 were very easy. Honestly, the order that I had them in was very easy, but this is where I started to kind of have to ask myself some questions, put a little pause on it. The more that I've come around, I mentioned this in the tiered rankings. Again, receptionperception.com. Check out the tiered rankings there and the change log. Judy is a guy that I did move up, and I moved Courtland Sutton down. It just seems that the trajectory of those two right now, Judy is on a more positive trajectory. Courtland Sutton's sort of kind of coming along slowly back from that ACL, which is problematic because that was like a year ago.
I am such a sucker for athletes and athletes that play outside. And for that reason, I actually have Jefferson, and then I would put Jamar Chase too. And I know he's never played a single down in the NFL, and a lot could change. But my God, all the tools that this man has, all the speed that this man has, the hands, the route, like everything. This guy is a potential Hall of Famer. That's how good I think he can be. And he's playing with a guy in Joe Burrow in an offensive system that I believe wants to throw the ball a lot. And in my mind, give me Jefferson 1, give me Jamar Chase 2. I have no problems with the rest of the list thus far. The one thing about CeeDee Lamb, and we talked about this last week, he plays so many of his snaps inside. It is really difficult to be like a top 10 fantasy wide receiver playing almost exclusively inside. Now, I know we talked about it last week about how he's moving around the field and moving around in the offense. Those are good things. Will he supplant Amari Cooper as the number 1 pass catcher and target getter there in Dallas?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I don't think CeeDee Lamb is going to be stuck as a slot receiver for much longer. Even if he still takes reps from inside this year, at some point he's moving out to be more of a full-time outside number 1.
Yeah, no, I think you're right there. And that part still makes sense. But you know what's crazy? Even if he got the X work, still give me Jamar Chase. That's how much I love
totally
Jamar
fair.
Chase, man.
Totally fair. Number 6, Rashad Bateman. Love the player. Eventually, I think the volume will come. No matter what, I think he's just too good. I don't think you want to get hung up on situations and offenses in Dynasty. I think he's just a great prospect. Keenan Allen, Justin Jefferson type of player that separates at an elite level across the route tree. Number 7, I have Devonta Smith. Again, 89th percentile success rate versus press coverage and reception perception. I don't have size questions. I do have plenty of questions about the Eagles offense, but again, not going to get like Jalen Hurts might legit not be the quarterback there next year. They have a ton of draft capital to go get somebody else. I'm not worrying about that long term. Number 8, and I know this feels low for T. Higgins after an awesome rookie year, but this is just the strength of these two classes combined. Still really like T. Higgins, a guy who I think is just the classic consummate number 2 receiver who can win vertically more than I expected. So this is no disrespect to T. Higgins. It's just he will always now be a number 2 receiver. Similar here with Chase Claypool at number 9. I think he has the ability to potentially be a number 1, but I'm a big Deontay Johnson fan, who we know is one of the best separators in the NFL in reception perception. So does Claypool? There's no chance that really Claypool just kicks Johnson to the curb. I don't think that's a possible outcome here. Number 10, I have Elijah Moore. I'm betting on the rookie there, betting on him being, I think he's a stud. 95th percentile success rate versus man coverage, stud across the route tree. I really like him as a player.
Yeah, me too. I'm the more I watch of Elijah Moore and the more I hear about him and you know, his ability in this offense and moving around and playing outside, playing with the first team and doing all the reports are glowing. And I've fallen in love with his metrics. I've fallen in love again with that, you know, the speed and everything. So, man, I don't know, man. Give me Elijah Moore. And I don't know. I kind of sort of would like to move Claypool up above Higgins too.
Yeah.
Because I think they're both number 2s, but Claypool, I think, provides you a little bit more upside. I actually might move Higgins down to 10. That might be where I might put him. Because again, as a clear-cut number 2 option, it's really difficult to put in like those like studly, you know, weekly performances. And I just don't think, I think he's going to be one of those guys that like, you're never sad about drafting. Like you're always like, okay, that's cool. Like I got T. Higgins, you know, like, but you didn't have to spend big draft capital on him, and you just kind of sort of plug him in either as a flex or like as your like kind of like, you know, rock solid wide receiver 2. But he's not the guy that you get like juiced about, right? Like he's not the guy that you get excited about. Like some of these other guys you get pretty jacked about. So that's why I probably move Higgins down to 10. I might move Elijah Moore up, man. I might move him up to 7. Like that's how excited I am about him. I might have, it's from 7 to 10. I might go Elijah Moore, Claypool, Devonta Smith, Higgins. That might be where I go.